Today I am going to explain some important concepts with which we are more concerned in connection with this practical oriented question. See here, they are going to ask questions to classify the revenue and capital items. This is a very, very important aspect. As you know, we have already worked out some problems on not-for-profit organization. So, in addition to that, we have to know how to classify the revenue and capital items. Classification of revenue and capital items. Capital items. See here, this is a very, very important concept. See, unless we know how to differentiate between revenue and capital items, we cannot work out the problem, students. So therefore, always I advise you to know the difference between the revenue and capital items. See here, some 25 to 30 items I am going to give. So just I will tell you what are revenue and capital. First one is legal charges. Legal charges incurred in connection with incurred in connection with the purchase of land. In connection with the purchase of land. See, this is, so one more question. They are going to ask whether it is a capital item or revenue item. So, there sometimes just he is going to ask just to name capital or revenue item. But here we have to give, I am going to give whether it is a capital receipt or capital payment, or revenue receipt or revenue payment. So here, legal charges incurred in connection with the purchase of land. See, you have to tell this because legal charges, it is a part and parcel of the cost of the land. So therefore, this amount has to be included to the cost of the land. So therefore, this expenditure, what is the amount they have spent in connection with the purchase of land? So this legal charges is considered as a capital expenditure. So this is here, you write, I am going to write it here, CE. CE means it is a capital expenditure. So I hope that you have followed how we have to classify this, because legal charges, what we have spent, that is in connection with the purchase of land. So in connection with the purchase of land. So here legal charges is a part and parcel of the cost of the land. So therefore it is a capital expenditure. And the second one is brokerage paid. See, brokerage paid for raising a loan. Brokerage paid for raising a loan. For raising a loan for the purpose of business. For the purpose of See here, brokerage paid for raising a loan for the purpose of business. As you know, to start a business, we need finance. That finance has to be raised, either that amount has to be raised either from the bank or from the private bankers. So while raising a loan or while getting a loan from the bank or from the private financiers, so we have to contact the brokers. So what is the amount that we have paid for the consultation given by the brokers? For that we are going to call it as brokerage. So brokerage paid for raising a loan for the purpose of business. See, we are going to raise a loan to conduct business. So it is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. Because it is a lump sum amount we have to pay for the purpose of starting a business. We are going to raise a loan from the bank or from the private bankers. So what is the amount you have paid in connection with that to the brokers? That is known as brokerage. So brokerage is a capital expenditure. And the next one is expenses incurred for whitewashing, for whitewashing the building. See here, you see expenses incurred for whitewashing the building. Whether it is a commercial organization, whether it is a non-profit organization, whether it is any other building. So it is a recurring in nature. So every year, as you know, in national festivals, each and every person they are going to apply whitewashing or painting to their building. So here, expenses incurred for whitewashing the building is a revenue expenditure. It is a revenue expenditure. Why it is considered as revenue expenditure? Because it is recurring in nature. So every year we have to apply whitewash to our building, either to the office or commercial building or to the building of this what you call the not-for-profit organization. So therefore expenses incurred for whitewashing the building is a revenue expenditure. It is a revenue, it is a recurring in nature. Punaravartane ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. It is repetitive in nature. Then repairs. Then we have repairs to second-hand motor car. Repairs to second-hand repairs to second-hand motor car. So to make fit, suppose you have purchased a motor car by paying 1 lakh rupees. To make fit that vehicle, so some amount, suppose we are supposed to spend some 10,000 and 20,000. So what is the amount that we have spent to get it repaired, that second-hand motor car? So it is a part and parcel of the cost of the motor car. So we are going to include these repair charges to the part of the cost of the motor car. So therefore, what is the amount that you have spent for repairing a second-hand motor car? It is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. I hope that students you have followed, because it is the repair charges we have spent to get it repair the motor car, to make fit, to run the motor car. we have spent some amount. So that amount is considered as it is in a capital expenditure. And next one is periodical repairs of plant. See, that is periodical. Periodical repairs of plant. I think it is better to take all these things, students, because as you know, they are going to ask for 5 marks under practical oriented questions. So periodical repairs of plant. As you know, this plant and machinery has to be get it repaired every year. So periodical means, so once in a year we have to get it repaired. So what is the expenditure incurred to get repair that plant and machinery? It is a recurring in nature. It is a repetitive in nature. So therefore, periodical repairs of plant is considered as it is a revenue expenditure. It is considered as revenue expenditure. Why it is considered as revenue expenditure? Because it is a repetitive in nature. Every year we have to get it, repair the motor car. So therefore, it is a revenue expenditure. And then sale of old tennis balls. Next one is sale of old tennis balls. Sale of old tennis balls by a college. See, as you know, in each and every institutions, educational institutions, they have to conduct the sports. So what are all the tennis balls they have purchased every year? So after this, after using the tennis balls, at the end of the year, they are going to sold those old tennis balls, because it is a repetitive in nature. It is a recurring in nature. Every year, what are all the unused or old tennis balls, they are going to sold in the auction. So therefore, whatever the amount that they have received, that amount is considered as what you call it as revenue receipts, because it is the amount received by an educational institution after selling the old tennis ball. So old tennis ball, sale of old tennis ball is a revenue receipt, because it is the amount received by the educational institution. So therefore, it is considered as revenue receipt. And then 7th one is life membership fees. Life membership fees. So this, as you know, that I already explained while working out the problem. Life membership fees, it is only once a person is supposed to pay to the not-for-profit organization. If once he has paid the amount, lump sum amount fixed by the not-for-profit organization, he is not supposed to pay until his death. So that therefore it is considered as life membership. Life membership fees is considered as it is a capital receipt. Only one time we are going to receive from the member. It is a lump sum amount given by the member to become a member of this not-for-profit organization. It is the amount, lump sum amount received by not-for-profit organization from a person to become a life member. So therefore, it is a capital receipt. So life membership is a capital receipt. This should not be taken in income and expenditure account. This amount has to be added to the capital fund. And then prize amount received from a lottery. So here, this is another important Prize amount received. Prize amount received from a lottery. Prize amount received from a lottery. So this is what you call it as prize amount received from a lottery. Once in a life, sometimes a person may get lottery amount. So earlier that in Karnataka state also, each and every state they are conducting the lottery. Even in other countries, foreign countries, they are going to conduct the lottery. So whatever the amount received by the not-for-profit organization from the lottery, that is considered as capital receipt. So once in his lifetime he may get the lottery amount. So we cannot expect every week or every month or every year. So it is received rarely. So we are going to receive this lottery amount rarely. So therefore it is considered as capital receipt. It is considered as capital receipt. Then ninth one is, as you know, honorarium paid to the secretary. Honorarium paid to the secretary. See, as you know, that is not-for-profit organization is administered by a committee, executive committee elected by the members. So that executive committee consists of president, vice president, secretary, joint secretary and treasurer. So because it is the whole and sole responsibility of the secretary to look after the day-to-day affairs of the not-for-profit organization. So therefore, what is the amount paid by not-for-profit organization as a consideration? So in consideration for the service rendered by the secretary, so for that amount we are going to call it as honorarium. Honorarium, it is the lump sum amount paid by the not-for-profit organization to the person who has rendered service. So here honorarium paid to the secretary of a not-for-profit organization is, see, it is recurring in nature. They may pay every year or every month, whatever may be the case. So it is a recurring in nature. This has to be shown in the expenditure side of the income and expenditure account. So this honorarium paid to the secretary is a what you call it as revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure. And 10th one is, as you know, 10th point is legacies received. Legacies. See, this is a very, very important point. Legacies. So before we classify whether it is a capital or revenue, I think it is better to know the meaning of legacy. What is, I have already explained in the earlier class. Legacy is nothing but it is the gift or it is the contribution given by any other person or by an organization to the not-for-profit organization according to his will. According to his will. So here, a legacy, it may be in the form of cash or it may be in the form of property given by any person or any organization to the not-for-profit organization. To the not-for-profit organization according to his will. According to his will. So he is going to give, he is going to execute a will. So according to that only we have to use that property. So that is what we call it as capital receipt. So legacy received is a capital receipt that should not be shown in the income and expenditure account. This is considered as capital receipt. This amount has to be added to the capital fund in the liability side of the balance sheet. So these are the 10 important points that I have already explained. I hope that all of you have taken these all the 10 points. So another points I am going to give here. I think I am going to rub this. Okay. So after rubbing this, I am going to give other items. Otherwise, you cannot follow this. I hope that all of you are taking these points, because this is a very, very important from the point of view of your examination. Because under practical oriented, in your annual examination, compulsorily they are going to give one question for 5 marks. That is, classify the following into revenue and capital items. Athwa revenue receipts or revenue payments, and capital receipts or capital payments. I have clearly mentioned here, it is a receipt or payment. Sometimes in examination is going to ask just to bifurcate whether it is a capital item or revenue item. If you are just write revenue item, it is okay. So in examination, how he has asked, you have to answer according to that. Cost of installing lights and fans. So as you know, it is the amount spent on installing lights and fans. These are the lights and fans. So it is a capital item, because we are going to use that asset for a longer period. We are going to get the benefit of this lights and this what you call as fans for a longer period. So whatever the amount spent by a not-for-profit organization in installing lights and fans, it is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. Then 12th one is, 12th point here, a special subscription received for a special purpose. See here, he has mentioned special subscription. Special subscription received for special purpose, for specific, that was special for specific purpose. See here, what it says, special subscription. Generally, subscription is the amount paid by the member to become a member of a not-for-profit organization. It is a revenue item. But here in this case, special subscription received for specific purpose. If a special subscription received for a specific purpose, for example, a subscription received to give party to the governor, or to honor the CM of a particular state. So, we are going to receive that subscription to give party to the governor. So, in the name itself he has given, it is the amount received to give party to the governor. So, we have to use that amount only to give party to the governor. So, we cannot use that amount for that other purposes. So, therefore, what is the amount we have received towards special subscription for specific purpose? So, it is a, what you call it as, capital receipt. It is a capital receipt. Then next one is 13th. See, laboratory expenses incurred by the science department. Laboratory expenses. Laboratory expenses incurred by the science department. laboratory expenses, as you know, in each and every educational institutions, they are having different streams like science, commerce, arts, etc. To the science students, as you know, they are supposed to conduct laboratory, they are supposed to conduct this what you call it as laboratory in chemistry, in the case of what you call it as optional subjects, chemistry, biology and physics. So they have to conduct this laboratory examination. They have to give advice to the student how to conduct this laboratory. So therefore, whatever the expenditure incurred by an educational institution, so they are supposed to purchase what you call it as gas, they are supposed to purchase chemicals to conduct this laboratory exam. So therefore, whatever the amount spent by an educational institution to conduct laboratory examination, so it is a revenue expenditure because it is a recurring in nature. It is a repetitive in nature. They have to give advice, they have to take laboratory classes for each and every batch of students. So it is a recurring in nature. So therefore, this laboratory expenditure incurred by the science department of an educational institution is considered as revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure. And then 14th point, that is prizes awarded to the students on the college day. Prizes awarded. Prizes awarded. Prizes awarded to the students prizes awarded to the students on the college day. See here, as you know, every year they are supposed to conduct sports events. So to the winners, so they are supposed to give prizes. They are supposed to give away the prizes to the winners of the student. First prize, second prize, third prize in their annual, what you call it as annual meeting. So they are supposed to give prizes to the students. So whatever the prizes awarded by the college to the winners of the students is a recurring in nature. So therefore, it is a revenue expenditure. See, one thing you should be noticed here, if any prize fund is created, then so that prizes awarded to the students, that amount has to be deducted from the prize fund and that has to be shown in the liability side of the balance sheet. So in this case, just he has given prizes awarded to the students on the college day. So on the college day, whatever the prizes awarded, it is recurring in nature. It is a repetitive in nature. So therefore, it is considered as revenue expenditure. And then next one is, see, match expenses met out of match fund. So this is another important point. 50. Match expenses met out of match fund. See here, match expenses met out of match fund. So as you know, that is interstate, inter-college, they are supposed to conduct the matches in each and every educational institution. So whatever the matches conducted, so while conducting the matches, whatever the expenditure incurred, so they have to give this what you call it as water boy, and they have to mark this, and then they have to give this what you call it as to the students coffee, tea. So whatever the expenditure incurred in conducting this match, So that is match expenses met out of match fund. This is very, very important. Out of match fund. So if they have created match fund, this amount is considered as what you call it as capital expenditure, and this has to be deducted from the match fund. So this should not be taken in the income and expenditure account. So match expenditure met out of match fund. So they have created a match fund for a specific purpose. When they have created a fund to conduct match, so that whatever the expenditure incurred to conduct the match, that amount has to be deducted from the match fund in the liability side of the balance sheet. So therefore it is a capital expenditure. Then next one is honorarium paid to surgeon by an hospital. Honorarium paid to doctor, secretaries. So that is honorarium, 16th one. Honorarium paid to surgeon, doctors, lecturers, etc. They are working in different hospitals. So whenever the patient is come to their particular hospital, so they call the specialized doctors, and if any surgery is conducted by those doctors, and or any other services given by the doctors or lecturers or lawyers, whoever may be the case, any honorarium paid by the not-for-profit organization is a recurring in nature. It is a repetitive in nature. So therefore, this amount is considered as revenue expenditure. So I hope that all of you have followed these 16 points. So here, that is cost of installing a lights and fans, capital expenditure. Special subscriptions received for a specific purpose, it is a capital receipt. Laboratory expenditure incurred by the science department of a college, it is a revenue expenditure because it is a recurring in nature, it is repetitive in nature. Likewise, prizes awarded to the students on the college day. So on the college day, every year they have to give away the prizes to the winners of the students. So it is a recurring in nature. So therefore it is a revenue expenditure. And then match expenditure met by met out of the match fund. If they have created a match fund, this whatever the match expenditure incurred by them, that has to be deducted from the match fund. That should not be taken in income and expenditure account. That should not be taken in income and expenditure. That has to be shown as a deduction from the match fund in the liability side of the balance sheet. And then 16th one is honorarium paid to the surgeon. Honorarium paid to the surgeon, doctors, lecturers, whoever may be the case. This is because for the service rendered by them, these hospitals and educational institutions, they have to pay a lump sum amount to the lecturers, or lump sum amount given by the hospitals to the surgeons and doctors for the service rendered by them. So whatever the amount paid by these not-for-profit organization for the service rendered by them, it is considered as a revenue expenditure because it is a recurring in nature. So frequently they have to call the doctors and they have to ask the doctors to give the treatment to the patients. So it is a recurring in nature. So therefore it is considered as revenue expenditure. Students, I hope that all of you followed these 16 points. Now I am going to rub that, that is from 1 to 10. So by the time you are supposed to take these points, whatever I have written in the board. So now I am going to rub this, students. Up to 16th I have explained. 17th point is installation charges. Installation charges of a new machine. Installation charges of a new machine. As you know, whatever the expenditure incurred in connection with fixing of machinery. Fixing of installation means it is a fixing of machinery. Suppose a machinery is purchased to what you call it as this floor mill. A floor mill they are supposed to purchase in Bangalore, and they have to bring that machine and they have to fix to the floor. So whatever the expenditure incurred to fix that machinery to the floor, that is what is called installation charges. We are going to call it as installation charge. So in this installation charges is a part and parcel of the cost of the machinery. Part and parcel of the cost of the machinery, because suppose we have purchased that what you call it a floor mill by paying 5 lakh rupees. By paying 4 lakh rupees, and after bringing that we have to fix that machinery to the floor, and we have to take the connection, electricity charges connection. For that I think suppose they have incurred some 1 lakh rupees expenditure in connection with the installation. Now then, this 1 lakh rupees is the part and parcel of the cost of the machinery. So suppose if any person asks what is the amount that you have spent for this, then they are going to tell not 5 lakh rupees, but including this 1 lakh. It is installation charges, so they are going to tell 6 lakh rupees. So therefore, this installation charges of a new machine considered as a capital expenditure. Capital expenditure. This is considered as capital. I hope that you have followed, because installation charges is a part and parcel of the cost of the machinery. And then subscriptions to newspapers and periodicals. 18th one. Subscriptions to newspapers and periodicals. See, periodicals means magazines, whether it was a monthly magazines or weekly magazines, newspapers. So as you know, in each and every not-for-profit organization, they are supposed to bring these newspapers and magazines, whether it is a monthly magazine or weekly magazine, to go through that magazines by the members of the not-for-profit organization. So whatever the amount paid in connection with the newspapers and periodicals, magazines, that is periodicals means magazines, so it is considered as revenue expenditure. It is considered as revenue expenditure because it is recurring in nature. It is repetitive in nature. So every month they have to pay the paper bill, periodicals bill. So therefore it is a recurring in nature. So that's why it is considered as revenue expenditure. And 19th one is cost of construction of construction of a pavilion. Cost of construction of a pavilion. Cost of construction of a pavilion by sports club. by sports club. So cost of construction of a pavilion by a sports club. As you know, sports club, they are supposed to conduct the various games and various what you call it as gym items they have to bring, and they are supposed to require number of rooms, additional rooms. If any additional room or if any building is constructed by the sports club, so cost of construction of a pavilion, cost of construction of a pavilion by a sports club. Pavilion means that is, as you know, suppose they have to prepare this playground, maintenance of playground, and they have to incur heavy expenditure in making this pavilion fit. So whatever the amount spent in construction of a pavilion by the sports club is a capital expenditure, because they are not going to invest money in constructing the pavilion. So only if once they have invested in constructing a pavilion, that pavilion may be used by the sports club over a number of years. So therefore, it is considered as capital expenditure. It is considered as capital expenditure. And then donation received for constructing a swimming pool. This is another item. Donation received for constructing a swimming pool. So if any amount, any donation received by an education institution or any other not-for-profit organization to construct the swimming pool. As you know, even there are number of members are there for the benefit of the members. So each and every not-for-profit organization, they should have a swimming pool. So in the case of sports club, they should have a swimming pool. In the case of recreation club, they should have a swimming pool. So whatever the amount or whatever the donation received by these not-for-profit organization for the purpose of constructing swimming pool, it is a capital expenditure. It is a capital expenditure. If once they have constructed a swimming pool, they are going to use that swimming pool over a longer period. They may use that swimming pool for 5 years or 10 years, whatever may be the case. So therefore, it is a capital expenditure. Then 21st, carriage paid on goods purchased. Carriage paid on goods purchased. Carriage paid on goods. Carriage paid on goods purchased. As you know, here it is a recurring in nature. Whatever the goods purchased for the purpose of sale by a not-for-profit organization, suppose in the market they are supposed to purchase the goods, and from market to their places they have to bring either by auto or by carriage. So whatever the amount spent in bringing the goods from the place of its purchase to the place of its not-for-profit organization, so it is an expenditure incurred. It is a recurring in nature. So therefore, this carriage paid on goods purchased is a revenue expenditure. It is a revenue expenditure. It is a recurring in nature. They are supposed to pay frequently. Whenever the goods they bought, they have to pay carriage charges to bring the goods from the place of its supply to the place of their own to the place of their own building. Then next one is salary paid to groundmen for upkeep of grounds. salary paid to groundmen for upkeep of grounds. See, this is a very, very important point. Salary paid to groundmen for upkeep of grounds. Upkeep of grounds means, in each and every not-for-profit organization, they are having this pavilion, garden. Yes, what we are going to call it as pavilion or the garden. So that to maintain that garden, so whatever the salary paid to that gardener, so that amount is, we are going to call it as recurring in nature. Upkeep of grounds. Upkeep means to maintain the grounds. So as you know, he has to cut the plants, he has to maintain the plants, you have to put the water to the plants, he is supposed to cut the grass every month or every year. So therefore, whatever the salary paid by a not-for-profit organization to this groundman is a person who is in charge of looking after the garden. So whatever the salary paid to him, it is a recurring in nature. It is repetitive in nature. They have to pay every month salary to this groundman to maintain the lawn or to maintain the gardens. So to upkeep of grounds means garden, to maintain the grounds or garden. So that is considered as revenue expenditure. And then sale of old sports materials. Sale of old sports materials. So sale of old sports materials. In each and every education institutions, they are supposed to conduct the sports. And what are all the sports materials? That is old balls, bats, tennis balls, cricket balls, and cricket bats, etc. They are supposed to sell at the year end. So in the year end, so whatever the amount received on sale of old sports materials, it is a recurring in nature. Instead of keeping this old tennis ball, cricket balls, and then bats, and whatever the other sports material, old sports materials, nets, etc. So they are used to sell all these old sports materials at the end of the year. So whatever the amount received is a, what we call it as, that is, we are going to call it as revenue receipt. Revenue receipt. Because it is a recurring in nature. Every year they have to sell in the year end old sports materials. So whatever the amount received by this education institution after selling the sports materials is considered as revenue receipt. And then 24th, see here, that is locker rent paid. So what we are going to call it as locker rent paid. Locker rent paid. See here, as you know, the name itself says locker rent paid. So whatever the locker taken by this not-for-profit organization, so they have to pay the rent every month or every year. So this is locker rent paid by the not-for-profit organization is considered as a revenue expenditure. It is considered as a revenue expenditure because it is a recurring in nature. So that amount has to be paid by the not-for-profit organization. So therefore it is considered as revenue expenditure. Heavy advertisement expenses incurred. Heavy advertisement advertisement expenses incurred heavy advertisement expenses incurred for new product. So as you know, if any new product is introduced by this not-for-profit organization to give advertisement, as you know, they have to spend some heavy advertisement. So suppose as you know, to give advertisement in the TVs, to give advertisement in the national papers, local papers, they have to pay lakhs of rupees. To give advertisement in the TVs for a minute or for a second, they have to pay lakhs of rupees or even crores of rupees. So whatever the amount spent by this not-for-profit organization to advertise their newly introduced product that is what you call it as, we are going to call it as deferred revenue expenditure, because this is a deferred revenue expenditure. We are going to call it as this amount as a deferred revenue expenditure, because we are going to get the benefit for over a longer period. So therefore, here whatever the amount spent in advertisement, we are going to get the benefit for a longer period. The sales may increase for the current year, next year. So like sales may increase for another 3 to 4 years. So whatever the amount of sales increase, that is because of the advertisement made by this year. So therefore, this amount is spread over to a number of years. So that's why we are going to call it as deferred revenue expenditure. The payment of which is postponed to the next year, future year. So therefore, we are going to get the benefit for a longer period. So that's why we are going to call it as deferred revenue expenditure. I hope that students, so totally 25 points I have explained. So you have to go through this very carefully. If you are well versed with this, you can easily work out the problem. So some few points are there. I will give you in the next class, students. Thank you to all.